The children who lived in the house were Jeremy and Jemima Potts. They were played by Adrian Hall and Heather Ripley. Now, they haven't actually been back to this location since the film was made over 30 years ago, but we're expecting them shortly. Hi there, Adrian. Have a closer look. What an amazing day to see it on as well.
Incredible, isn't it? It all seems really different.
Completely different.
But then we were very small.
And wasn't there like a balcony?
There was a balcony around it, wasn't there?
Standing on a balcony.
Yeah, we had to do a scene running around it. I remember that. There were trucks everywhere and there were people everywhere, and it was
and
just...
the sales actually went round. So where was the garage that he was building Chitty in? That's like not here anymore, is it?
That must have been... that was over here.
Can you remember any of the lines from it?
Just about all of them, I think, yeah.
Really? Can you recount any now?
Do I have
Can
to?
you? I can't remember at all. I'm impressed.
Hang on, we're coming to a bend.
Whose was that? Was that
It's
yours?
You remember yours and Adrian's?
Yeah. I had that kind of mind, though. I did remember word-for-word conversations and things.
At the time, did you know who people like Dick Van Dyke were?
Yeah, I thought that I didn't think we were doing a film. I thought we were doing the Dick Van Dyke show for the first 3 weeks, so it was all a bit of a surprise.
And what were they like?
Oh, he was hysterical.
It was great.
He was really funny all the time. It didn't matter whether the cameras were rolling or not. He was a natural entertainer.
For most people that have seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which is almost everyone in the world, the child catcher is quite a memorable character.
Yeah, but...
What was he like as actor?
He was a laugh. He couldn't have been less like the child catcher. He was the complete opposite type of character, the child catcher. He was a really, really nice guy. But it's quite astounding how many adults had nightmares when they were kids from the child catcher.
Yeah, you get big butch guys, 6'4", with tattoos everywhere coming up. Oh, I was really scared of the child catcher. But for us, it's the opposite memory, because he was great fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just down the road from the windmill is Pinewood Studios. This was also used for the filming of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And many famous faces have been through these gates. Charlie Chaplin, Marilyn Monroe, Tom Cruise and Julia Roberts, to name just a few. Morning. Now it's my turn. The great house at Pinewood Studios was originally called Heatherden Hall. It was sold in 1934 to a wealthy Sheffield business tycoon named Charles Boot for just £35,000. He had the dream of making a studio to rival the best California had to offer, and the house and grounds turned into the Pinewood of today. The house and formal gardens were used in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as the home of Truly Scrumptious. She's seen here singing Lovely Lonely Man after her first meeting with Caractacus Potts. Also famous in that scene is the bridge over the lake in the garden, which in the film had swans on it. It's covered in stunning Virginia creeper, and it's not famous solely for Chitty. Now, I recognise this.
You'll recognise this bridge and this area from a number of films. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, of course. Truly Scrumptious was in this area. She had her swing in her garden. Her house was over there, and you saw the lake and the pond.
And she runs across this bridge,
That's
I think,
right,
singing.
yeah. And it's also featured in the opening of From Russia with Love, the Bond film, with Sean Connery and Robert Shaw. If you sort of catch the very first frame of the film, you'll see Sean coming across the bridge, stalked by Robert Shaw around the hedgerows, and he's eventually garrotted.
So James Bond, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, crikey, we've got the Carry On films. Carry On up the Khyber, the house just over there was used as the Indian High Commission. Also TV series like The Persuaders and Man in a Suitcase, they were all shot round here. So it's a great escape, if you like, from the film factory that's just the other side of the trees.
And the house behind us, is that as it was in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Not quite, because in the early 70s there was a film called The Great Gatsby, and they had to build a little extension onto the front of the house, which is known as the Gatsby Suite.
This cine footage was shot in 1967 on the duck pond at Russell's Water in Buckinghamshire. The scenes filmed here involved the principal actors Dick Van Dyke and Sally Ann Howes, as well as the children, and focused on a car driving into a pond. This is the duck pond used in the film. It's along this road that Truly Scrumptious's car rolls out of control. And one person that saw it all happen was Bob Warner outside his cottage. Bob, what was it actually like during the time of filming?
Oh, it was very exciting here. There were floodlights here, and there was a mobile school around the corner for the children. We had no ducks on the pond at the time, but the local farmer, Mr. Phipps, he imported some ducks for the film, you know.
Especially for the film?
Especially for the film, yeah. And I think we all made a few quid out of it, you know. Dick Van Dyke and Sally Ann Hayes used to sit at this very spot, and the makeup artist used to come and make them up in this spot here. That's when he wasn't round the pub, of course.
Did any of the actors ever get frustrated at having to do retakes?
Oh yes, especially Sally Ann Hayes, yeah. Oh, I've seen her once when she went in the pond and things went wrong. She stood up in the car and said, "Oh, sugar," but slightly different to that.
So those were the Buckinghamshire locations used in the film Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. But before I go, there's one last thing I want to do. At the end of the film, there's a beautiful sunset before Caraticus Potts and Truly Scrumptious sing one last line of the chorus. Then Chitty takes to the sky, flying over the beautiful countryside that featured in the film. Now, I might not have a flying car, but I've got a modern-day equivalent. And you know I said that there was one last thing to do. This is it. Bang, bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, we love you.
And our pretty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang loves us too. High, low, anywhere we go on chitty chitty we depend. Bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, our fine for fender. Chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, fine for fender, chitty chitty friend.
Get bang up to date with the latest movie news, Jonathan Ross and Film 2004, next here on BBC Two.